A lot of cowboy boot brands aren't selling boots anymore. They're selling feelings. And the people who love calling others snowflakes are actually the ones being emotionally marketed to. Say something contrary to what somebody's favorite boot brand marketed to them, and they turn into a snowflake, whining and crying that they like family values that the brand has, when in actuality the brand survives from huge venture capitalist investments. They say they like how a brand represents West Texas when the brand's boots are made in Mexico, even though the most historic American boot city is El Paso in West Texas. Or that radical hospitality while boot shopping is a good enough reason to leave the store with overpriced boots that don't fit. Listen, I love cowboy boots, and I respect boot culture, the trades, and the craftsmanship that goes into making a great pair of boots. That's why I feel if you wear boots, you deserve honesty, not manipulation. And I see the result of this manipulation in my comment section all the time. Some of you guys are huge snowflakes, and I need to address it. It's time that we hold these boot companies to a higher standard. Brands selling feelings and not value is an issue in nearly every industry and system. But since I focus on cowboy boots here on this YouTube channel, in this video, I want to talk about how brands are getting away with selling you inferior boots and making you love it at the same time. Modern boot marketing leans on four main things. The first being heritage language in a Western accent. You know what I'm talking about. Lines like, "The true West has no fences. Find comfort in traditions that helped define it." Things like, "Stands as a testament to the values that truly matter." And "Believe that quality work still matters. That doing the right thing is non-negotiable." And finally, "They're a legacy that you wear." This leads into the second one, which is masculinity signaling. Things like work, family, and grit aesthetics. Their boots are here for the long haul. There's a cowboy code, and the boots are built to handle what the day throws at you. Leading into patriotism and regional shortcuts, things like American value language, the Texas fetish when it comes to cowboy boots, all while outsourcing and saying things like designed in Texas, but made in Mexico or made in China. And finally, the fourth one that they lean on is individuality. Be yourself, walk your own path. These things feel meaningful, but they don't guarantee quality. These brands have figured out that they don't need to make good boots. They just need to tell a good story. So let's look at the reality of these marketing tactics that the modern boot companies use, starting with the heritage language in a Western accent, saying things like, "Since 1865, or vague references to the Old West, using words like tradition, legacy, and authenticity, when in reality, if quality work, legacy, and traditional values still matter, then where are all the sizes that were traditionally available in the boot industry? Why have plastics, cardboards, foams, and cloths taken the place of quality leathers in boots?" Secondly, the reality behind using masculinity as a sales tool, with ads implying that tough men wear these boots, following a cowboy code, and their boots are made for hard workers, when in reality, they're pushing masculinity and hard work, all while cutting corners in construction by replacing leather with cheaper materials to boost profit margins, and being half-assed about fit, completely hypocritical to their hard work and manly messaging. Next is the reality behind the patriotism and regional shortcuts tactic. Brands can advertise about American values and being Texas proud, and in reality, their message does actually represent modern American values of outsourcing manufacturing to Mexico and Vietnam without passing the savings of outsourcing onto the customer. That's so American nowadays, isn't it? And finally, the reality of these modern boot brands marketing individuality is ironic, because they're pushing individuality while spending budgets of tens of thousands up to $1 million or more advertising to everybody. That doesn't sound very individualistic to me. I have no problem with brands marketing to sell their products. My problem is that marketing is coming at the expense of a good product. Customers are overpaying for boots and basically funding these advertising budgets, not the boots themselves. Here's how these brands are cutting corners. These brands are using Celastic and plastic heel counters, but marketing them or implying in their marketing that they are leather heel counters. Celastic and plastic cracks and cannot handle the stress that leather can, making Celastic and plastic completely inferior materials to leather. Brands are replacing quality leather insoles with cardboards and foams and then covering that up with a leather liner. Cardboards and foams will rip and wear out much faster than a quality veg tan leather insole. Brands are replacing durable steel shanks inside boots with plastic, fiberglass, or wimpy thin metal shanks. And they aren't producing nearly enough width sizes for the population, preferring only to make D widths and maybe double E on occasion because the majority of the population can fit into a D width, even if it doesn't fit you properly, which leads to problems at the arch and pinching at the toes and perpetuates cowboy boot myths that it takes a long time for a cowboy boot to break in, it's a painful process, and you always have to size down for a correctly fitting cowboy boot. These are myths. I just covered it in a recent video. To be honest, when it comes down to it, I don't really care if these boot companies use synthetics inside the cowboy boots or if they outsource their manufacturing to another country, as long as they reinvest those savings into fit. Because if a brand actually cared about fit, they'd invest in widths, not just branding. These boots are priced to be a heritage product, but built to be a novelty. The price is justified by the story, not by substance. If these boot brands have enough money to advertise to us on every single platform, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, Google ads on every website, television ads, up to including Super Bowl ads, they can certainly afford to add more width sizes to their product line. But they don't, because you love being marketed to and it's making you a snowflake. The same people who are mocking others for being emotional are buying boots because the marketing makes them feel tough, feel authentic, and feel manly. If a logo and a story can convince you to ignore bad fit and inflated prices, that's emotional buying. So here's what real quality cowboy boot brands do differently. They invest in multiple width sizes because not everybody is a D width. They are truthful about the materials that they invest in. They let the product speak louder than the story. They can back up their American value messaging because their boots are made in the US. They accept higher costs to deliver value, but often end up with a very similar price point to these brands that have huge marketing budgets. I wonder why that is. The best boot brands aren't advertising to you nonstop every day online. They are focusing on their product in a real small business kind of way that this country should actually be celebrating. Now, I know this is going to be a big ask for many of you, but I urge you to start thinking critically. Buy boots with your feet, not with your feelings. Ask about widths. If they only have one or two, go someplace else. Ask about materials. If they're cutting corners in production without offering extra widths, look someplace else. Cowboy boot brands don't need mythology to be great. They just need honesty, fit, and respect for the people wearing their boots. Don't let marketing make you soft while it empties your wallet. Don't be a snowflake. Hold your cowboy boot brands to a higher standard, get your feet measured, and boot up with your proper size. That's all I got. Don't be a snowflake with your brand loyalty. These brands don't care for you and it's plain to see. They'd focus on widths and their quality. So don't be a snowflake with your brand loyalty. Thanks so much for watching today. Why don't you learn more about widths in this video up here? Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.